Hey Tay,
Hey, Sketch, quick question for you. What do you think is the best character beatdown moment that you've seen in anime?
probably a Mudman Rider versus a Sea King in One Punch Man.
Oh, that was bad. That
Oh
was
boy.
very bad.
You know what? Mudman Rider gave his best. He had spirit, he had courage, just didn't have the physical ability.
Or any ability.
Or any ability. The man has a bicycle.
It's pretty good on that bicycle, though.
Yeah, he is.
Other than that punching bag, I think the most iconic punching bag of all is Krillin.
Yeah, I mean, DBZA has the Krillin owned counter for a reason.
He definitely deserved the Krillin owned counter, but I think he's a great way to show how strong somebody else is or how overwhelming they are. Because Krillin takes out grunts like nobody else.
Yeah, Homeboy took down, what, 4, 5 of the Cybermen in one blast?
Yeah, and then he also takes down Frieza's grunt that they finally land on the planet with, and it shows that he is above these grunts. But then to establish the villains, they always just take out Krillin every time.
He's always the butt of the joke, man.
Nappa comes in to show how strong Nappa is. Boom, takes out Krillin to show how strong. Who's the next one that came in? Vegeta? No, I don't think Krillin fought Vegeta.
Krillin did not fight Vegeta. The only thing that comes to mind is Frieza blowing up Krillin.
Yeah, but I think that, again, he's used as a plot device to show how cold Frieza is and how willing he is to just finish off our main heroes. So that leads me into the great animation scene that we saw, where we're seeing this beatdown happen. Go ahead and explain why this scene was great and what the scene was.
Okay, so we finished up ranking of the kings, Turmoil in the kingdom. Beginning of this episode, we see a bunch of chimeras square up with Dorshi, and he shows up with push daggers this time instead of dual shields. And Homeboy goes to work. We see Dorshi take out these chimeras left and right, and it's also shown that he has extra daggers poking out around the rest of his body. And we see Dorshi go to work, we see these numbered knights go to work, up until Ouken comes by. And hey, would you like to explain to us how Ouken handled the situation?
Ouken does what Ouken does. He's a sadist. While Healing was trying to escape with Anne, comes up, stops Healing, cuts her hand. Anne comes to save Healing, cuts her in the throat. Not deep enough to kill her, just enough to watch her bleed, and then he laughs about it. And then he does this again later in the episode as well. But I thought this scene was impeccable because he's done it twice now. He did it with Fallen King, and now he does it with Anne. Last episode, the guy mentions that he's a sadist, but now we get to see it in full force where he's just enjoying himself. Then it goes to this next scene that we really liked.
Healing is surrounded by Chimera. Dorshi's down, Dorshi's crushed by a hammer, and is knocked out. The other 3 numbered knights are down for the count. And then it cuts to Boji and the Knight Captain, who are still on their way. It cuts to Domas and Rokaru, who are down towards the underworld.
Yeah, they're going towards the underworld.
Going towards the underworld. And then it shows King Boss and Bevan in the dungeon. No one is here to save Healing until we see a Spirit Throw and Apis comes to the rescue.
Which was a shocking twist because we thought Apis was Team Moranjo, but he's not. But he is. He's in that strange middle ground.
Oh, he's still a simp to Moranjo. It's just, sometimes he breaks out.
Speaking of simps, please hit that sub button for us, like the way Apis subs for Moranjo. Was there any cool world building moments that you saw?
Ouken goes into the village, and when he starts attacking the village, up until the knights show up. And then we see the Underworld Captain confront Ouken, and he calls him Prince Ouken. Your previous prediction of Ouken being related to Daishin and the Underworld King might have been spot on the money.
Yeah, it seems like he's their younger brother, or maybe their middle brother, or maybe even their older brother. He could be in the similar spot as Boji, where he was supposed to be king, but he wasn't.
I mean, he's a bit of a mass-murdering psycho, so I would kind of understand why they didn't pick him to become king.
I mean, is that the only reason, though? I mean, every king seems to be a mass murder.
Fair enough. There seems to be a lot of weird things that happens. Speaking of weird things, there was a scene in particular you had an issue with this episode.
So, we see Dorshi down for the count. Gurgen has his giant hammer on Dorshi's back, and he's holding it, right? And Dorshi's just laying there with the hammer, out cold. Apis screams for him. We see another cut of the hammer still there on him, right? And then Dorshi wakes up, throws the hammer off, And now all of a sudden, Gurgan is not right behind Dorshi. He's a mile behind, and the hammer goes flying towards him. How did he teleport? The man's huge. I get it. He moves in the background. We never see him or notice him. But I was looking. I was watching. He wasn't there, and the hammer flew and hit him.
Look, maybe Dorshi took the hammer, ran, and then threw it.
That sounds more ridiculous. I'm just saying, like, an easy way to fix that would have just been, he pushes the hammer and Gurgan off of him, and then the hammer hits Gurgan, rather than 2 miles away, like he threw it off of him and it flew towards him. Cool scene, but a little bit of a little hole. Was there anything that you found weird or something that was off?
Okay, so the castle's being attacked. You see all the guards with the villagers, and the soldiers there are saying like, "Hey, the castle's being attacked. All of you need to evacuate." And the villagers are kind of looking and going like, "Yeah, but where though?"
Somebody told you your house was on fire, or your neighbor's house was on fire. Would your question, okay, maybe they can't see it. So let's say somebody said there's a fire coming your way, and they're an official authority on fires, like a firefighter. Are you gonna sit in your house and wait?
I mean, just toss my blanket over myself. I should be fine, right?
I grabbed my Xbox, but but
Important things.
I get for the plot point, it's supposed to be a scene where the villagers are reluctant to leave, and then Ouken can take advantage of them still being there. But that scene could have still been set up with them trying to leave, and Ouken still shows up.
Yeah, it seems just sort of an excuse to get everyone in one place for Ouken to just start cutting.
Right? And you could have still had them all in one place, slowly evacuating, not taking it seriously. But there was no need for them to fight the guards about it. Like, it seemed a little bit contrived.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird scene, I'll grant you that. We see a little bit more of Miranjo's motivations, and she seems to really dislike Boss's family, healing in particular. What do you make of that?
So you remember a couple episodes back, I said this was a love square? The only reason I said love square is because you have Boss, first wife, second wife, Miranjo, mistress. It's a little bit of a square. I mean, okay, love triangle now, because as we know, Miranjo cut off one part of the square. She cut that slice off real quick.
Yeah, it's implied that Miranjo is involved in the death of Boss's first wife.
But it's very strange because despite killing off his first wife, she also finds him his second wife.
Yeah, Boss kind of just rolls with it too.
Is she in love with Boss but doesn't want to be with Boss? Or does she want to be with Boss, but then there's a different end goal?
Maybe she just can't be with Boss. I mean, she's missing her face, she's missing her hands, and I think by the time she finds healing, she's already in the mirror.
Maybe some self-confidence issues there?
Yeah, or her body's just falling apart. Who knows?
Okay, funny moment I want to bring up is when Healing points out the mirror in her room, and it's Miranjo facing their bed. Now this is where the love triangle goes a little bit weird, but I really think Miranjo was gonna watch. I'm not saying it's canon, it's my head canon, but it is their bed, and she is right in front of it.
Look, man, maybe Miranjo's just into cuckoldry. Have you ever thought of that?
No, that's what it sounds like. It's like vicariously living through other inanimate objects, other people. Seem too far from it. Why do you think Ouken is Boji's natural enemy?
So we see a scene of the Night Captain, or the Underworld Night Captain, talking to Daisha, and Daisha gives him a warning, saying that Ouken is stronger than the Night Captain, so don't fight him, and that Boji should not fight Ouken because Ouken is Boji's natural enemy. And I think it's because Boji's entire fighting style revolves around hitting weak points in people to like slow down their heart, knock them out, just take them out of the fight. Thing is, Boken is entirely armored, and in a previous scene, we see Boken take 3 knives, like one in each orifice of his face, and he just gets up. So I don't.
We see the blood go right back into his body. He kind of regenerates and gets up.
Yeah. So I don't think Boji's fighting style is effective against Ouken just because he's armored, and those portions that are exposed, it doesn't matter because he'll just regenerate.
I don't think the armor makes a difference. Hear me out here. Boji split a rock.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So inanimate objects have weak points. I'm not saying the armor has 30,000 of them, but I'm pretty sure he can find a weak point in the armor with his eyes and break the armor. But I don't think that changes the fact that Ouken can take these hits. Let's say Because it seems like he should have died from the other hits.
Yeah, I mean, he takes the knives and he goes down, but he just kind of slurps his blood back up. Knives
Also takes the slam hit from King Bo in the last episode. And he just seems to get right back up. And Desha, who we think is all-knowing at this point, or at least in the skills of creating kings, says he's trying to mean we have no reason to not believe him. He hasn't been wrong yet.
Yeah, I mean, Desha is usually pretty knowledgeable.
And then the knights took that advice and kept Boji away from him. But obviously Ouken's gonna come back and fight Boji.
Yeah.
How do you think Boji's gonna overcome it? Do you think he's gonna overcome it?
I mean, it's the Knight Captain versus Ouken right now, and I don't favor our captain's chances here.
No, I'm saying when he goes back to Boji, we know the captain's losing.
Yeah.
Dash already said it. How do you think Boji's gonna overcome that?
Maybe he'll find a weak spot behind the armor? Not the face.
Behind the armor? The armor's not the problem.
I couldn't tell you right as of this moment.
Or maybe it's because Boji's not willing to kill. Maybe Boji will become willing to kill. Maybe that's why he's a natural. Maybe he's the natural enemy to the goodness of Boji.
Maybe. Or he'll have healing's help in taking out Ouken.
Oh, with the flash?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a good day.
Laters.